Welcome to the universe in a seashell, the podcast dedicated to science, life, and girl power. I'm Kara Bartek and I'm your host. I'm a PhD, an author, and I want to make this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. And welcome to the podcast. We are coming at you from day 4 of no school / social distancing. Right, ladies?
Yes. You're drinking root beer.
You're drinking root beer? Is that one way you're coping with this whole no school thing?
Eating ice cream.
Eating ice cream. What do y'all think about this so far?
Pretty cool, but I'm not looking forward to having my summer taken in.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen yet. We could, a lot of schools are continuing their studies, at home. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of friends who are doing like online classes. They've picked up their books. We're kind of a little bit modified,
Tomorrow we're going to go pick up our books.
Tomorrow we're going to pick up our books. And we're going to keep on studying, right? We're just going to take it
study.
One day at a time, aren't we?
We're gonna have
today,
some
religion, what else?
Science. Social
studies. You've been working on a little bit of social studies, haven't you?
Science.
Even science? Okay, so before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of listeners who I know are out there tuning in during this time of no school. That is Caroline and April, and they are friends with the Becks, and I wanted to say hello, guys, and I hope that you are doing well. Today, I've got a very special, very fun topic that was requested by one of my friends.
Mr. Chip,
the 10X Realtor. He wants to know about unicorns. And I think he was being silly when he said, hey, let's talk about unicorns. But guess what, guys? I found a lot of science, a lot of fun facts, all about unicorns. Who doesn't love unicorns?
I love unicorns.
You love unicorns?
But they're make-believe. I'm surprised that you found that much.
Okay, but so what I want to know first and foremost, and Caroline, you've already hit the nail on the head. What do y'all know about unicorns?
They're make-believe. They have a horn or wings.
Horn or wings?
Or they can have both.
Okay.
Or they can have without them.
They can have them without them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk
about... And they also
about...
have cutie marks.
Have what?
That's fake. Cutie marks.
Oh, is that on...
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony, yes. So that's a lot of places that we see unicorns, right? Cartoons, books, movies, stuff like that, right?
Even on the internet.
On
YouTube.
On YouTube. So we can all agree that unicorns don't exist, right?
They're make-believe.
But we like them.
Yeah.
And I think unicorns are usually like the best colors because they're like usually rainbow, right?
Yeah.
Pink, purple, green.
And their skin and their fur is white.
Their fur is white. I've seen some unicorns like purple.
Horn.
Yeah, purple, pink, all kinds of stuff. But okay, so let's talk about what a unicorn is. So I went to Wikipedia. It's a great resource. It's the very first thing that usually comes up when you get out to the internet and you start researching. And they say that the unicorn is a legendary creature that's been described since antiquity, meaning since a long time ago.
So it's basically a make-believe creature that people made a long time ago?
Yeah, that they've been talking about for a super long time. Now, it's a beast with a single, large, pointed, spiraling horn projecting from its forehead.
Yes, and it could make anything what it wants, like donuts, cotton candy.
Oh, so unicorns have magic.
That's what people think.
That's what people think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, Here's what Wikipedia says. The unicorn was depicted in ancient seals of the Indus Valley civilization and was mentioned by the ancient Greeks, okay, so thousands and thousands of years ago, in accounts of natural history by various writers.
When dinosaurs were alive?
Well, they're talking about a few thousand years ago, so not necessarily when dinosaurs were alive, because how long ago were dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs are like millions to
millions of years
trillions.
ago. But what they're saying is that they're finding ancient civilizations and ancient writers who actually talk about unicorns being out in the real world. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, so we've got Greek writers like Strabo, Pliny the Younger, Cosmos, a lot of them that were talking about unicorns as being real.
Don't you like Cosmos?
Cosmos?
Isn't that a type of book?
It is a book, but it's also a Greek philosopher.
Oh. Sounds a lot like a book that you read.
Yeah, that's the Carl Sagan book, and by the way, I love it. But these are ancient Greek writers who were talking about unicorns as being actually real. Even the Bible describes an animal called the reem, R-E-E-M, which some versions of the Bible actually translate into unicorn. Now, I looked up this ancient creature, okay, and now what it looks like is an ox. So it's not necessarily a creature with one horn, it kind of has two horns, but that's one way that we're seeing it coming across in history.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
Okay, it kind of looked like an ox to me. I encourage you guys out there, Google the reem. To me, it doesn't look like a unicorn at all. So this might be like a translation error, okay? So if we're coming from languages that are very different from our own, we might get some of the words wrong, right?
Sometimes narwhals have two horns.
Don't you skip ahead, Penny. Don't you skip ahead. Okay. Now, in European folklore, the unicorn is depicted as a white horse or a goat-like animal with a long horn and cloven hooves. Okay?
Goat-like?
Yes, goats. I know, this surprised me too. And sometimes the unicorns can have a goat's beard. What do you think about a unicorn with a goat's beard? That kind of seems super weird to me.
I can't imagine a unicorn with a beard.
I would think that if a unicorn had a beard, it would definitely have to be like bedazzled with like braids and like beads and glitter. What do you think?
Or it had to look like Dumbledore with that long white beard.
Wait, yeah, but that's not kind of a glamour beard. I would imagine like unicorns need a glamour beard. Not like a garlic beard like your dad's. Your dad has a garlic beard. It's always garlic scented. I don't even know.
I like garlic scented.
You like garlic scented beards?
Yes.
Ew, yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay. Now, in the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, it was commonly described as an extremely wild woodland creature, a symbol of purity and grace. Okay, so I could totally see that.
But then why are they calling it a goat? Goats are like...
Goats, I think, well, but see again, if you had like a really elegant goat, it could be elegant, right? It could be super elegant.
A unicorn beard, not real.
How do you know, Penny? You've never even seen a unicorn, so just listen to the research and...
I saw it on My Little Pony one day.
You saw a goat on My Little Pony?
No.
Okay.
It was a unicorn, it had a beard.
Okay, listen to this. In the encyclopedias, its horn was said to have the power to render poisoned water potable, which means that it could turn the poisoned water into something that you could drink, and to heal sickness. Okay? So this is the basis of all of this magic and all of that kind of stuff, right? That's where it's coming from. Now, in medieval and Renaissance times, the tusks of narwhals were sometimes sold as unicorn horns. So people would buy these tusks and basically say, hey, this is a unicorn horn and it has magical properties. Like maybe it could like magically clean your room.
Or heal you.
Yeah, or heal you.
Or make your skin stop bleeding.
Make your
As
skin
Penny
stop bleeding.
mentioned, narwhals can have 2 horns, and to me, narwhals sort of are the unicorns of the sea. Yeah, they are unicorns of the sea.
Quit looking at my notes. Quit looking at my notes. Okay. Anyways, so, but the point remains. Basically, unicorns are seen as magical,
Mythical.
but it's a fantasy animal. Okay. This is not real, right?
No. It's
Okay.
it's like someone came up with it, and then they thought they saw it in the real world. And then they said that it is in the real world.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder, so were these stories just made up to entertain, or maybe did they have like a moral point? I don't know. But let me tell you this. I have found a couple of instances where unicorns might actually be real. Y'all want to talk about it?
Yes!
Okay, now this is from Nat Geo Kids, okay? And this is an article about a very ancient fossil and the possibility that unicorns may have actually existed. Penny has her hand up and I'm scared. What are you going to say?
Sometimes when I watched the movie, there was these unicorns in these clouds, and there's cloud glue, and on a big sister's hand and a little sister's hand, there were colors, and it showed them which unicorn would there be inside the cloud. And they're going to find a unicorn.
What movie was this?
It was on Dad's phone.
On Dad's phone. So I'm guessing Netflix. He was entertaining you.
And I started to watch it, and it was really cool.
Well, we're going to have to figure that out so we can tell our friends.
And there's little aliens that are squishy. It has squishy tummies.
Okay, well, are you ready to hear about this article that I found on Nat Geo Kids? Okay.
Yes.
So it's true, unicorns do exist. They're just not quite the elegant white ponies that you imagine. Okay, listen to this. A groundbreaking fossil discovery could prove that the extinct Siberian unicorn lived much later than previously thought, walking the earth with humans. Okay?
Oh my gosh! I want to see one.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Okay, scientists believe now this is a big one. Elasmotherium sibericum died out 350,000 years ago until a fossilized skull was found in Kazakhstan. Okay, clever carbon dating tests, which this is a test that you basically use to determine how old things are, including fossils. Okay,
Even fossils from dinosaurs.
Right. Okay. Concluded that the fossil was actually 29,000 years old as opposed to 350,000 years ago. Okay.
Oh my God.
Meaning that the animals roamed the earth a whopping 321,000 years longer than previously thought. Okay. Most likely, the south of western Siberia was a refuge where this animal was preserved the longest in comparison with the rest of its range. Now here's the deal. So they're calling it the Siberian unicorn. But basically, you know what it looks like?
What?
A rhino. It really does. So, you know, this is one of the ways...
They call it a unicorn.
Well, this is one of the ways that we talk about unicorns is that they have that single horn coming out of their forehead, right?
Boop.
Well, that's what this guy has.
But it looked like a rhino?
Yeah, it looked like a rhino.
Not a rhino.
It wasn't pretty. It didn't have an elegant goat beard. But, hey, this might give us some insight as to where people started developing the fantasy of unicorns. So if this Siberian rhino actually lived, or the Siberian unicorn, whichever you want to call it, actually lived when humans lived, they may have been passing this down through the generations. They may have talked about an animal with a single horn.
I want to see one.
Okay. Now, let's talk about a living unicorn. That is the narwhal. Who likes narwhals?
Me.
You like narwhals?
Me.
Now, narwhals are actually called the unicorn of the sea. And I am just calling you out on this, Caroline. You totally stole that from my notes.
Told you. I did not steal it from your notes.
Oh, you so did.
No, I did
you
not.
so did.
No,
You
I
so
did not. No, I did it.
Okay, now, I got this off of worldwildlife.org. Y'all are distracting me by elbow fighting. Can you not elbow fight? Okay. Often dubbed the unicorns of the sea, narwhals are strange and beautiful creatures with long tusks protruding from their heads. So it's not a horn, it's actually a tusk.
Ow.
Members of the population of more than 80,000 can weigh up to 4,200 pounds and grow as long as 17 feet in length.
Is that longer than Papa?
Come on, Caroline.
Taller.
Come on, Caroline. You tell me. 17 feet? You tell me.
Papa's tall, though.
Do you think he's 17 feet tall? Because if you do, I think I know exactly what we're going to have to be talking about during our homeschooling sessions, and that is length. Right?
Maybe
Fine,
the
Papa's
size
only
of
like-
Papa.
How tall is he?
He's like 8 feet.
No!
6?
Yeah, he's about 6. He's about 6'4". So an average man is about 6 foot tall, or maybe a little bit shorter than that. But these narwhals are almost 3 times that size. So imagine putting, a man that's about 6 foot tall, or even me. I'm kind of tall. I'm about 6 feet tall.
Even Daddy?
3 times my length. That's how
What?
long these narwhals are.
Even like Dad?
Yeah, he's tall like that too.
But what if he has a tusk, Dad?
Well, he could use his elegant goat beard, so. Okay, now the narwhal tusk, most commonly found on males, is actually an enlarged tooth with sensory capability of up to 10 million nerve endings inside. Some narwhals have 2 tusks. Penny, you said that, while others have none. The spiral tusk juts from its head and can grow as long as 10 feet long. That's a huge unicorn horn.
That's only 7 feet less than how long the narwhal
Daddy is.
What if the horn was 17 feet and the body was 17 feet?
That's long.
Yeah, it'll be taller
17 to
than
17
Daddy.
is...
That'll be longer than Daddy.
That would be 34 feet.
Hey, that's some good mental math right there.
Oh my gosh.
Congrats, sister. Okay, now listen. Unlike some whale species that migrate, narwhals spend their lives in the Arctic waters of Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. Most narwhals winter for up to 5 months under sea ice in the Baffin Bay, Davis Strait area. Okay. Now here's an interesting
That's
fact.
where Santa lives.
I wonder if Santa has a team of narwhals.
Mush.
Do you think that's how he delivers out there in those really cold regions? Maybe like a
Mush,
whole team of
mush.
narwhals? That'd be pretty cool. Okay.
It would be cool if he just used his dogs. Mush. 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 Mush.
Now listen to this.
Blush.
No narwhals can live in captivity, and they don't know why. So they've tried to get narwhals and like put them in aquariums and zoos, kind of things like that, and they actually cannot live in captivity.
What do they
Nobody
do?
knows right. They actually pass away, unfortunately. Yeah, they can't live in captivity. They can only
Even when
live
they
in the wild.
feed them and stuff?
Right. Even when
Oh
they
my-
feed them.
And give them activity and stuff?
Absolutely. So, and it's one of those things that they just don't know and they don't understand.
That is weird.
But that tells you they should just leave them out there, right?
Leave.
Leave them out there. Now, narwhals feed on Greenland halibut, Arctic and polar cod, squid, and shrimp. And they do their chomping at an ice floe edge and in ice-free summer waters. Okay. Can you imagine a narwhal eating a big old squid? Okay. Narwhals can dive about a mile deep in the ocean. That's crazy. 'Cause think about that, because they're breathing
What
air.
if their horn could glow up?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Now,
Because
and then
there's marks and there's like stripes around it and then glows.
that'd be a fancy narwhal. Now, cracks in the sea ice above allow them to pop up for air when they need it. Now, narwhals change color as they age. Newborns are blue-gray, juveniles are blue-black, and adults are a mottled gray. Okay, so meaning
Mottled?
like kind of like a speckly gray.
Like with white spots?
Yeah, white and gray spots. Probably a little bit of black and blue. Now, old narwhals are nearly all white. So it's kind of like
Just
how
like-
people get
it's
gray.
all-
What if the body...
Just like
What
old
if
people
their
get
bo-
white hair.
Right.
what if
Old
the
narwhals get white.
body
Okay,
what if
only
the-
speak at once.
What if the body glows up the narwhals in their horn and look
I
all
think-
fancy?
But y'all are silly, and I think y'all are stir crazy. Okay, so what do y'all think about what we learned today about the science of unicorns? So, okay.
That was pretty cool.
So we know that unicorns are basically a fantasy, but there might be some actual historical basis for unicorns, and it might be these Siberian unicorns, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chip.
Yes. And we do have some real unicorns that live, but they're in the sea, right? But
touch one.
their horn is, we're going to have to go up to the Arctic. Now, their horn is not actually a horn. What is it?
A tooth.
Caroline just spit in my eye.
A tooth.
That was nasty. Okay, but anyway, so again, thank you, Mr. Chip, for requesting the unicorn topic.
I also have one more word.
And if anybody has some show suggestions or ideas, send them on over to me. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe and healthy. We're going to be producing as much of the podcast as we possibly can because we want to make sure that y'all are entertained and informed, right? We're gonna. So, what about you girls? Okay, do y'all have any ideas for some things that we can talk about?
I want to talk about wallabies.
I want to talk about pandas.
All right, girls. All right, say goodbye to your friends.
Bye.
Have a great